Hi there, everybody. My name is Big Sister 792, and once again, welcome to my channel. And I just wanted to talk about 5 things that made me happy this week. Number 1, the Terracotta Army. So recently, archaeologists have discovered in the Terracotta Army in China that there is some ancient DNA that was actually Greek. So this means that before we had any recording of ancient Greeks and ancient Chinese having any contact with each other, we are basically seeing that they helped create the Terracotta Army. And just a couple interesting things about that is before this, there was hardly any figural statuary that was made by the Chinese. So this was just something really cool, and due to the lack of written information on the Chinese and Greeks having any contact, and also the lack of like armor or weapons being excavated, this is leading me to believe that this was not like a hostile takeover like situation. So that's one thing. Second thing that made me happy this week was the Dead Sea Scrolls. And recently, okay, so just a bit of background here. Several years ago, there was some very ancient charred remains of one of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Nobody knew what it said, and the scientists were given 2 options. One, they could try to take it apart and try to read what it said, which would have destroyed the paper in the first place. Or they could just let it sit for a while and then wait for technology to get to a point where they could be able to read the scrolls without basically practically having to touch it. And so they went with the latter, thankfully, and just recently that just happened. They were able to get a hold of some powerful x-rays that they could look inside of the paper and like visually kind of take it apart on a screen and read what it said. And it turned out it didn't say anything new. It was just like the book of Leviticus. But even so, it was really cool that, you know, these guys were patient enough to wait for technology to get better rather than just recklessly trying to destroy something just to see what was inside. Number 3. In Denver, there was an all-terrain wheelchair that used to belong to a man with physical disabilities named Mark, and he passed away, and his family donated the wheelchair to Colorado Parks and Wildlife to make it easier for people with physical disabilities to enjoy the outdoors. And there's a lot of money being donated to his foundation to make improvements on the wheelchair to make it even better for people. Number 4. Now this sounds really stupid, but honestly just the fact that pain pills exist. I feel like this is something we take for granted, but just lately I have been getting a lot of headaches. I think it's just been due to stress or whatever, and it's kind of one of these things where I'm really happy that chemical discoveries have gotten to a point where I can just pop a pain pill in a couple hours, just not have to deal with a headache. So that's another thing. And number 5, this is kind of a personal thing that made me happy, but like about a week ago, uh, I was feeling very depressed because I was going to be graduating soon, and I just was not sure exactly what I wanted to do after that. I had so many different options, but it just depended on other stuff, and basically all of these things just kind of raveled up into one big void. And then I actually had to stop and think about this for a second. Like, I have so many opportunities, and just the fact that I'm a lady, just the fact that I do have so many opportunities, like, am I going to be a graphic designer? Am I going to stay home and get married and have a family? Am I going to, you know, travel the world and, you know, become like a famous art conservator at the Smithsonian or whatever? You know, I think this is one of these things we have a tendency to take for granted, just how many opportunities that we really have, and I think that's a very encouraging thought. So once again, everybody, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed my video at least somewhat. Please be sure to comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.